67 tons of liquid poison, sealed in rusting steel, resting 500 feet below the surface of the North Sea. This is not just another shipwreck. This is the U-864, a swimming warehouse of industrial terror, a vessel designed to save an empire, now threatening to destroy an ecosystem. And the steel is starting to fail. The North Sea is a graveyard of iron, cold, violent, unforgiving. But in 2003, off the coast of the island of Fedje, sonar operators saw a silhouette that did not belong, a jagged shadow. A massive hull snapped cleanly in two. For decades, the Norwegian government heard rumors of a poison sub. Declassified British intelligence finally provided a coordinate. What they found was a snapshot of 1945, a moment of desperation, frozen in the silt. The U-864 was a Type 9 D2 transport submarine, a monster of German engineering, 87 meters long, powered by two massive diesel engines. It was not built for combat. It was built for a heist. By late 1944, the German war machine was starving. The Reich's final hope lay in a desperate exchange: German technology for Japanese raw materials. They called it Operation Caesar. The manifest reads like a blueprint for a future that was never meant to be. Jet engine components from Messerschmitt, guidance systems for the V-2 rockets, blueprints for advanced interceptors that could have changed the sky. But it was the ballast that made this ship a legend. 1,857 steel flasks, each one filled with liquid mercury. 67 tons of a neurotoxin that does not decay. The submarine set sail from Kiel in early 1945. It was a suicide mission through the most heavily patrolled waters in the world. Captain Ralph Reimar Wolfram knew the odds. He was a seasoned commander, but his ship was struggling. The U-864 was vibrating. The engine mounts were failing under the impossible weight of the cargo. The submarine was heavy metal, groaning under the pressure of its own greed. But then, the hunters arrived. The British had broken the Enigma code. They knew the U-864 was coming. They knew exactly what was inside those steel flasks, and they knew it could never be allowed to reach Japan. HMS Venturer, a British V-class submarine, was lying in wait. This was a duel unlike any other. In the history of naval warfare, this remains the only time one submarine sank another, while both were fully submerged. It was a 3-hour hunt in total darkness. Venturer's commander, Jimmy Launders, could not see his target. He could only hear it. He tracked the rhythmic pulse of the German propellers through the thermocline. The tension inside the U-864 must have been suffocating. The sound of their own failing engines became a beacon for the enemy. Wolfram knew he was being followed. He began to zigzag. He pushed the engines to their breaking point. Then, the first escalation. Launders did the unthinkable. He fired a spread of 4 torpedoes. He did not fire where the submarine was. He fired where the math said it would be. A 3-dimensional intercept, calculated from sound alone. The 4th torpedo hit. The impact tore the U-864 open. The pressure hull collapsed in a fraction of a second. 73 men were silenced instantly. The submarine snapped like a twig. The bow and stern tumbled separately to the seabed, 500 feet down. The ocean closed over the secret for nearly 60 years. When remotely operated vehicles reached the wreck in 2003, the atmosphere changed. The cameras did not just see a ship, they saw a crime scene. The horror was not in the ghosts of the crew. It was in the mud. The ROV lights struck the silt and reflected something shimmering. Liquid mercury pooling in the debris field, like silver teardrops. Salt water had been eating at the steel flasks for half a century. The poison was finally breathing. But then the scale of the disaster became clear. This is not just a wreck. It is a chemical bomb. The area around the U-864 is now designated a red zone, a literal dead zone, where toxin concentrations are 1,000 times above safe limits. The mercury has entered the food chain. Crabs, fish, and seabirds near the site test positive for neurotoxins. Fishing is strictly banned. The islanders of Fedje live with the knowledge that a toxic tide rests at their doorstep. Measurements show that more than 4 kilograms of mercury escape into the North Sea every year. Every year, the hull grows thinner. Every year, the structural integrity of the remaining flasks reaches a new tipping point. Mercury does not evaporate. It does not disappear. It waits. The second escalation is political. For 20 years, the Norwegian government has remained in paralysis. The debate is polarized between two impossible choices. Option 1, the sarcophagus, encasing the wreck in 30,000 tons of sand and crushed rock, a tomb designed to trap the mercury forever. Critics call it a toxic legacy. They argue the ocean floor is unstable, one undersea tremor, one shift in the current, and the seal could fail. Option 2, the salvage, raising the wreck, lifting 2 massive corroded sections of steel. If the hull fractures during the lift, the remaining 67 tons of mercury could be released at once, an ecological heart attack for Northern Europe. The resistance to action is fueled by cost. Hundreds of millions of dollars to clean up a war that ended more than 80 years ago. Funding is never quite enough. Studies are never quite finished. But the chemistry of the deep sea does not care about budgets. It does not care about political risk. It follows only the laws of corrosion. Then a new discovery raised the stakes even higher. Researchers found the mercury is not just sitting there. Bacteria are converting it into methyl mercury, the most dangerous form of the element, organic, easily absorbed by living tissue, able to cross the blood-brain barrier. The U-864 is no longer just a wreck. It is a factory of neurotoxins. The silence from the international community is deafening. Germany views the site as a war grave, the resting place of 73 sailors. But war grave law was never designed for a submarine filled with liquid poison. There is no prestige in this recovery, only liability. No politician wants their name attached to a salvage that could fail. So the U-864 sits in the cold, in the dark. The jet engine components are now unrecognizable oxide. Rocket blueprints have dissolved into brine. The advanced technology Captain Wolfram was meant to deliver is now scrap. But the mercury remains. It is an element. It does not break down. It only moves. We think of history as closed chapters. We believe stories end in archives. But the U-864 is a chapter that refuses to close. A reminder that decisions made in war can ripple across centuries. The machines we build to destroy each other often outlive the reasons we built them. They become ghosts we cannot exorcise. Final escalation. As the ROV cameras pull away, the image fades into deep, oppressive blue. The two halves of the U-864 lie like broken toys on a dusty floor. But they are not toys. They are a countdown. The ocean absorbs human failure. It hides wrecks. It muffles screams. But some secrets are too heavy to stay buried. Some poisons are too pure to forget. The clock on the seabed continues to tick. The steel grows thinner with every passing season. The North Sea appears calm at the surface, but beneath the waves, the past is breathing. Eventually, the ocean will stop asking what we intend to do. It will simply finish what the British torpedoes started. The only question is whether we will be ready when the last flask finally gives way, or whether we will watch as the weight of 1945 breaks the surface. The pressure is rising, the steel is groaning, and the timer is almost at 0.